Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So guys, today's agenda is to learn data types. So there'll be two parts of the data types. This is part 1 and part 2 is continued into the next video. So like the agenda is going to be same for both of this video. Then after we learn data types, we are going to learn variables. And also, if you want to understand data types, then watch my previous videos. So you can scroll down and you will find the playlist where you can find my previous videos. And please subscribe my channel, hit that like button if you learn something new or if you like this channel and video. And follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. And let's get started. So, data types. What do I mean by data types? So let's learn that. So basically, I will answer two questions. What are data types and what are the use of data types? Or meaning, why do we use it? So first, the definition is an attribute of data which tells the compiler or interpreter how the programmer intends to use the data. So if you don't know what compiler or interpreter means, then please check my previous videos and the what is programming, because it gives all the vocabulary you need to know. So please do check that out. The use is a data type constrains the values that an expression such as a variable or a function might take. This data type defines the operations that can be done on the data, the meaning of the data, and the way values of that type can be stored. So there are three standard data types in Python. The first is numeric, the second is boolean or bool in short, and the third is string. But actually there are more than three, but for now we just need to know only these three. But as we move on in the future, we will learn only more data types as we need. So first I will cover the numeric, but numeric also has three types: integers, floating point, and complex numbers. First we will understand integer. So integers are whole numbers. So first of all, humans tend to think that 1 and 1.0, they both are same, like the value are same, which is true. Yes, which is, yes, I agree with that. I agree to that. But Python, or I mean any programming language, it is programmed or it thinks that the 1 and 1.0 is too different. So now you will learn the difference between them. So integers are whole numbers. Example 1, 2, 3. Not 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. They are not examples of integers. And also these numbers that have decimals are not example of integers. So negatives are also examples of integers because they are whole numbers. The sign, that positive or negative sign, that does not determine if the number is integer or not. So with integers you have access to amazing features. So one feature is integers support different numeric bases. This means binary, octal, decimal, and hexadecimal. So like if you do a lot of math, or like if you do it every day, then you might have heard of these terms. But these are for future things. I just want to inform you, nothing else. So Python stores integers in the int data type. So this is how integers look in programming. Sorry, but we will do it in the second part. I will teach you how to use it. So now our next point will be floating point. Any number that includes a decimal portion is a floating point value. So as shown here in this image, these are all examples of floating point because they have decimal. So many people get confused about the difference between whole numbers and floating point numbers, though it is easy to remember. So always remember, if yes decimal, then it's a float value or floating point, and if no decimal, then it's integer or a whole number. That's like the easiest way you can remember. And Python stores floating point values in the float data type. So this is how float looks in programming, or in Python I mean. So we'll also learn that in the second part, like how to use float and the integers, and also the complex numbers, because they also have a function in programming. A complex number consists of a real number and an imaginary number, but that are paired together. Real world uses for complex numbers include electrical engineering or computer graphics, dynamics, all that kind of stuff. But no, these are just some uses. There are also more uses too. So just remember that you will probably not encounter complex numbers because in programming, complex numbers are not that important. But sometimes probably there are like few chances of encountering them. So 3 plus 4j is the example of a complex number. If even if any part is missing, then it's not count as complex numbers. So let's divide it into parts to understand more. 3 is a real number or a real part. 4 is as the imaginary part, and j is a variable that always appears after imaginary part. In this case, the number is 4. So in programming, that j is going to be stay same. You cannot use any random variables. You will have to use only j, and the format should be this 3 plus 4j in order to make it a complex number. Okay, complex. So this is just an example or kind of a formula. A plus bi. A is the real part, b is the imaginary part, plus is that adds them, and the I is the variable. So variable is something that you store, that stores data. So like in math, x equal to phi. X is a variable and we store that phi as data in the variable x. So we are going to learn variable in the next video, so please stay tuned for that. And now we will learn boolean values, but I'm going to continue this video into the next part. So please, if you learned something new today, please hit the subscribe button and hit that like button, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. And in next video, I will show you Boolean values and strings, and we will do a little bit of coding to see how the data types look in programming. So stay tuned for that as well. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.